These 10 West Indies cricketers made the whole world stop and watch and the fortunes they quietly built. Before we count down from 10 to 1, take a moment and think about what West Indies cricket actually meant to the Caribbean. Some of them built extraordinary fortunes. Some played in eras before the big money arrived. Starting at number 10 is Darren Sammy, the man from St. Lucia who made history simply by showing up. When Sammy made his international debut in 2004, he became the first person born on the island of St. Lucia to ever play international cricket. An entire island had never produced a test cricketer before him. He carried that weight proudly and then went on to do something even greater. He became a two-time T20 World Cup winning captain, lifting the trophy in 2012 and again in 2016. His estimated net worth sits between $8 and $12 million built through international contracts, global T20 league appearances, and a personal endorsement deal with German car giant BMW. But the moment that made Sammy permanently beloved across the entire Caribbean had nothing to do with cricket. In 2020, he publicly revealed that teammates in the Indian Premier League had called him a racial slur, and he named those people openly, knowing exactly what it might cost him commercially. 2 World Cup trophies, a BMW deal, and the courage to speak when silence would have been far easier. That is who Darren Sammy is. Number 9 is Curtly Ambrose, the 6'7" giant from Antigua who terrified the best batsman alive for 16 years and never once felt the need to say very much about it. Ambrose took 405 test wickets at an average below 21, placing him among the most clinical fast bowlers in the entire history of the sport. When he was at his peak, scoring runs off him felt closer to impossible than difficult. He barely spoke on the field. He barely celebrated. He just bowled with a cold, quiet precision that was as unsettling as it was magnificent. His estimated net worth sits at approximately $8 to $10 million, modest for someone of his colossal historical stature, and that modesty is itself the story. Ambrose played before the T20 revolution changed what cricketers could earn overnight. He took what the system offered and never complained. After retirement, he followed his genuine passion and became the bass guitarist in a reggae band, playing music across the Caribbean and beyond. 405 test wickets followed by a bass guitar and a band, the combination of sporting greatness and complete personal authenticity Curtly Ambrose represents, has never been replicated. Number 8 is Shibarin Shanderpal, the man with the most unusual batting stance in the history of Test cricket, turned almost completely sideways to face the bowler, like nobody else who ever held a bat, and somehow that completely unconventional style produced one of the most durable and decorated Test careers the Caribbean has ever seen. Shanderpal played 164 Test matches for the West Indies and scored over 11,000 Test runs at an average above 50. He was the first person of Indo-Caribbean heritage to play 100 Test matches for West Indies, a milestone that carried enormous cultural meaning across the Indo-Caribbean communities of Guyana and Trinidad. His estimated net worth sits at approximately $8 to $10 million, accumulated across a career that stretched from 1994 to 2015. What makes his story emotionally powerful is the era he played in. For most of his career, Shanderpal was the person holding the West Indies innings together while wickets collapsed around him. When pressure was highest and the team needed one person to simply refuse to surrender, Shanderpal stood there alone and fought for every single run. He did that for over 2 decades, never playing for a dominant West Indies team, never earning what earlier generations had earned when the money matched the greatness. He came back every time anyway. Now here is something important before we get to the top 7. The 5 men above number 5 on this list all built fortunes that start in the tens of millions and climb higher with every entry. Everything from this point forward is going to genuinely shock you, and number 1 is going to leave your mouth wide open. Keep watching. Number 7 is Clive Lloyd, Sir Clive Lloyd, the man from Georgetown, Guyana, who left school at 14 years old after his father died and went to work as a hospital clerk to help support his mother and 5 siblings. A 14-year-old boy doing a grown man's job because there was simply no other option. Cricket found him through determination and raw natural ability, and what he built from that starting point belongs among the greatest leadership stories in the history of world sport. Lloyd captained the West Indies between 1974 and 1985, and during those years he turned a group of individually talented players from different Caribbean islands with different cultures, sometimes different loyalties, into the most dominant Test cricket team the world had ever seen. He led them to 2 World Cup championships in 1975 and 1979. He built a run of 26 Test matches without defeat, including 11 consecutive wins, a level of dominance that had never existed before and has never been matched since. He also completely changed how cricket was played by deploying for fearsome fast bowlers at the same time, a tactical decision so effective that every cricket nation on earth eventually tried to copy it. After retirement, he served as a manager, ICC match referee, and long-time ambassador for the game, building an estimated net worth of approximately $10 to $12 million across a lifetime of service to cricket. A 14-year-old hospital clerk from Guyana who became Sir Clive Lloyd Knight Bachelor, ICC Hall of Famer, and the architect of the greatest cricket team the world has ever seen. Number 6 is Viv Richards, Sir Vivian Richards. And before a single word about money, we need you to understand what this man represented to every Caribbean person who ever watched him bat. Viv Richards never wore a helmet in his entire Test career. Not once. While fast bowlers who were genuinely dangerous bowled at full pace, Richards walked out with nothing protecting his head. Not because he was reckless, but because he wanted every fast bowler in the world to look into his eyes and understand that he was not afraid. That statement, delivered not in words, but in the simple act of refusing a helmet, was one of the most powerful gestures any sportsman has ever made on any field in the history of sport. He scored over 8,500 Test runs at an average above 50. His aggressive, fearless batting style shaped every powerful batsman who came after him for the next 5 decades. His post-retirement commercial relationships, ambassador work, and cricket involvement built an estimated net worth of approximately $10 to $15 million. The man whose batting made millions of Caribbean children believe they could take on the world deserves every single one of those dollars. Number 5 is Sunil Narine, the mystery spinner from Trinidad who became one of the most valuable T20 cricketers on the entire planet and quietly built one of the most impressive modern fortunes in West Indian cricket without ever making significant noise about it. Narine's bowling was so genuinely difficult to read that batsmen across the world prepared specific individual strategies just to face him, and most of those strategies still did not fully work. His long IPL career with the Kolkata Knight Riders made him one of the highest-paid Caribbean cricketers of his entire generation. At appearances in the Caribbean Premier League, the Big Bash in Australia, the Pakistan Super League, in leagues across Bangladesh and beyond, and the numbers stack quickly. His estimated net worth sits at approximately $12 to $15 million. While most modern cricketers chase attention loudly, Narine has always let his performance carry everything. No drama, just results so consistently excellent that the money came regardless of whether he sought the spotlight or not. Number 4 is Andre Russell. Dre Russ, and this story begins somewhere that makes every dollar he has earned feel deeply meaningful. Russell was born in Kingston, Jamaica in 1988 and grew up in genuine financial difficulty. His parents were both school teachers, hardworking, values-driven people who gave their children character without being able to give them comfort. Cricket became his path. He trained with a physical commitment that built one of the most powerful athletic bodies in cricket history and developed a T20 game so explosively destructive that when he walks to the crease in the final overs, fielders immediately retreat to the boundary before he has faced a single delivery because everyone already knows what is coming. He won the T20 World Cup twice with the West Indies. He then failed a doping test, served a 1-year ban that genuinely threatened to end everything he had built, came back from that ban, and performed even better than before. That tells you everything important about the mental strength inside this man. His estimated net worth sits at approximately $16 million built through IPL earnings with the Kolkata Knight Riders, Caribbean Premier League contracts, global T20 League appearances, and brand endorsements. For a boy who grew up in financial difficulty in Kingston, $16 million is not just a number. It is a complete transformation of everything his family came from. Number 3 is Dwayne Bravo, the most entertaining West Indian cricketer of the modern era, and nobody on this entire list understood the business of being a professional cricketer in the T20 age more clearly and more cleverly than he did. Bravo's estimated net worth is approximately $28 to $30 million, and it was built through a deliberate, calculated approach that most of his contemporaries never fully matched. He became one of the most in-demand T20 specialists in world cricket, a player team specifically called when they needed someone to defend a small total in the final over or hit a 6 when the match was slipping away. He played in the IPL with Chennai Super Kings for years alongside MS Dhoni. He played in the Caribbean Premier League, the Big Bash, the Pakistan Super League, and nearly every other well-paying T20 competition that existed. He endorsed Adidas, Reebok, Samsung, and multiple other major brands globally. He launched his own clothing line called DJ Bravo 47. He recorded his own music. The Champion song became genuinely famous across cricket. Played in stadiums internationally whenever West Indies players performed. He understood before almost everyone around him that in modern cricket your personality and your entertainment value are worth as much as your bowling figures. That understanding produced nearly $30 million. That tells you number 2 is Chris Gayle, the universe boss, and we need you to understand where this story began before we tell you where it ended up. Gayle grew up poor in Kingston, Jamaica. Real poverty, where tomorrow feels uncertain and today is already hard. He taught himself to bat on streets and open grounds before any formal coaching ever found him. He forced his way into West Indies cricket through raw, almost frightening natural talent and an absolute refusal to let where he came from define where he was going. What followed across the decades was one of the most spectacular batting careers the T20 era has ever produced. He is the only cricketer alive who has scored a triple century in Test cricket, a double century in ODIs, and a century in T20 internationals. He holds the record for the highest individual innings in IPL history, an unbeaten 175 in a single T20 match that left commentators searching for words. He played T20 leagues across more countries than almost any cricketer who ever lived. He endorsed Spartan Sports, Sandals Resorts, and Geo among dozens of other brands. He owns a nightclub in Kingston called Triple Century. He owns luxury properties across Jamaica, London, and India. He owns a Bentley, a Ferrari, and a Lamborghini. His estimated net worth in 2026 is $45 million. A boy who grew up with nothing in Kingston, Jamaica, named himself the universe boss. Nobody who ever watched him bat has seriously argued with that. And now number 1. Brian Charles Lara, born May 2, 1969 in Santa Cruz, Trinidad. One of 11 children. His father worked with his hands. His mother raised 11 children with love and very little money. Cricket found Brian Lara before he was a teenager, and the talent was obvious to everyone who saw it. He made his Test debut for the West Indies in 1990. In April 1994, at just 24 years old, he scored 375 runs in a single Test innings against England, breaking a record that had stood for 36 years and was considered permanently unbreakable. 10 years later, in the same ground in Antigua against the same opposition, he scored 400 not out in a single Test innings and took his own record to a place nobody has reached since. 400 runs in one innings. That record has stood for over 20 years, and the most respected analysts in world cricket genuinely believe no living human will ever surpass it. He also holds the first-class cricket record of 501 not out, both the Test and first-class batting records in one career. He captained the West Indies twice and carried the batting on his back for 17 years through triumph and heartbreak alike with a grace that made people who had never watched cricket before sit down and watch him in complete silence because someone told them it was worth seeing. His estimated net worth in 2026 is $60 million, the highest of any West Indies cricketer in the entire history of the sport. That fortune grew through his long brand ambassador partnership with Murph Tires. Annual commentary income from IPL and ICC events exceeding $500,000. A Caribbean real estate portfolio estimated at $15 million. Golf course design projects, his cricket academy, and his Pearl and Bunty Lara Foundation supporting underprivileged youth in Trinidad with scholarships and real opportunity. One of 11 children from Santa Cruz. $60 million. 2 unbreakable world records. A legacy that the Caribbean will carry forever. If this countdown gave you goosebumps even once, subscribe right now. Next week we reveal the top 10 greatest West Indies cricketers of all time. And that list will start arguments across every Caribbean island that will not stop for days.